Good Tuesday afternoon on this Transition Tuesday. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. Large picture, of course, we have this upper level low. You can see the center of the area of low pressure with these brown lines here. And we have a frontal boundary at surface, and that's going to show up with that kind of blue line there. And what you can see is kind of a surface area of low pressure over New Hampshire, and then kind of this sharp boundary layer. Of course, to the north, it's going to be driving in some much colder than normal air. And these temperatures are fairly significant. This is reaching back 3, 4, 5 hours. So you're looking at this rain band that's going to be kind of falling apart as it heads into Vermont. Boy, we could really use the rain, but sometimes dry begets dry. And indeed, that's the scenario here. Because once this front gets into, say, southern parts of Vermont, it's not going to have a lot to work with in terms of moisture. The overall trend is that we're not going to see a whole lot in the way of precipitation. But we will see the colder temperatures, unfortunately, and this is being driven with this upper level low and then pushing southward, and we'll note it really during the day on Wednesday. And you have the usual, the European on the left-hand side. This time we're using the Canadian model on the right-hand side. The GFS and the Canadian and the Euro are in really good agreement, so there's not a whole lot to differentiate. However, we do have that frontal boundary. You can see that front right along here, right along here. And so this is valid at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now we're into 5 this afternoon. You can see that the rain shower activity is working in a little bit later, a little bit delayed, but it does get in here. And then once it moves on out, well, it's going to dry out for a time before we're going to see, yes, a few wet snow showers and flurries. Not much. We're talking about mixed with rain showers, of course, but a little tiny bit of that, as temperatures aloft are cold enough to support that, and we'll see a very chilly day on Wednesday where temperatures will only be in the 40s. Running the model, though, things do dry out nicely. High pressure builds in from the Great Lakes. That's going to be the controlling influence as we head into Thursday, which looks like a spectacular day. Temperatures rebound nicely as well, and Friday should be a pretty fine day as well. That area of higher pressure eventually transiting out to sea. That's Thursday night into the day on Friday. And it looks like precipitation holds off until we get somewhere along about late Saturday. Not all the computer modeling is in agreement. A lot of things kind of depart here. The Canadian model is a little bit later. As you can see, the Euro here is already raining. Canadian model says, no, wait up. Things are going to happen on Sunday. So we'll have to wait and see just how fast that is going to move in. However, there's another frontal boundary, yes, packing some more chilly air. And anytime you see snow, basically at that latitude, not that far south of James Bay and, of course, Maniwaki, Petawawa, Ontario, for example, these kind of places up here, seeing a little bit of snow this morning, and that's the kind of cold air driving. It looks like we have another shot of that trying to make it in here. It doesn't come in quite as bad, though. You can see that the thickness lines here are going to be a little bit weaker, not driving far south and east as they are currently with this batch that's working in really for Wednesday. Beyond the period, does look like high pressure is going to build in after the sort of secondary front does move in. So we're looking at another couple of days of fairly good weather as we head into next week for good project weather. So we have a 3-hourly QPF. You can see it. Here's our little tiny frontal boundary, and then a little bit of wet snow flurry, sprinkles, rain showers, snow showers kind of business, as temperatures aloft will be cold enough for that. And then it looks like we dry out. And then, of course, as we head into the weekend, we have this business here. Looking at the total amount of QPF, not really a heck of a lot, 0.6 of an inch. We'll take what we can get, but most of that is going to happen once we get well beyond this this forecast period, as a matter of fact. No thunderstorms in the outlook forecast. Dew points do get up to about 50 degrees, and anything higher than 50 is something to watch. However, we're looking at just a tiny bit of CAPE then, so convective available potential energy. You can see these two, but we're talking below 400 joules per kilogram. Looking at shear 40 knots, 30, 40 knots in here. So probably nothing to worry about at this point, but no thunderstorms are indicated. Precipitation type, shot of rain, a little bit of clearing, partial clearing, and then we get a little bit of mixed rain shower, snow showers. Again, not a whole lot. Total snowfall is, and again, this is centered on Montpelier, so about 1/10 of an inch, less than 1/10 of an inch not going to amount to very much. No impacts for utilities. Total 7-day QPF. Boy, oh boy, do we ever need the rain. Weather Prediction Center is indicating about around 5/10 of an inch. We could use a lot more than that. Checking temperature. You can see that we're actually a little bit above normal right here, but this is the colder air that's dropping in. Note, anomalously, it is not a big deal. We're not looking at anything super severe at this point. The anomalous warmth, however, out west, building through parts of Western Canada into the Arctic, is fairly significant. And here are the effects. Here's the heat wave that's building into the Pacific Northwest, which incidentally, they're getting thunderstorms in the coastal ranges now of Oregon, Washington. We haven't seen any thunderstorms to speak of in the Northeast, and it's almost like we switched places here. But this is our meteorological output statistics over the next 5 days, weighted, running about 6 degrees below normal overall. 3 days later, not as bad, neutral, a little bit above normal either side of us, and this heat will continue to envelope and develop. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting. Thanks for watching.